All right, welcome everybody to the NWO show, your source for everything New World. Um, it has been a little bit between shows, but we are excited as always for some awesome new news. A new creator pack came out, as well as some very interesting Twitter activity that may be leading to, frankly, any number of different things. But that said, I want to introduce my co-host McLeod.
Hey everybody.
I'm sure McLeod's audio is working too.
Oh yeah. Just definitely make sure that I'm around. It does seem like it is. So that's good.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So, with that, we've got kind of a jam-packed show tonight. All kinds of stuff to talk about, and it all kind of focuses around a man and his dog.
Something you have an affinity for.
Yes, I do. Realized I wasn't wearing my hat. Yeah.
Tut.
Yep, gotta wear it when you got it. Earlier this weekend, the Twitter feed initially looked as though somebody accidentally turned on Twitter in their pocket for a little while.
Good old pocket tweet.
You know, it definitely did not appear to be coherent, and then it took shape. You know.
Yeah, it did. In actual fact, upon reflection, it's actually anybody with a pet, especially a cat. In actual fact, would kind of understand, because anybody who's had a like say a pet, like walk across their keyboard would completely understand some of the interesting tweets that initially occurred. Yeah, and we reconstructed the sort of the image. Is it?
There we go.
Is it going to be playable?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. There we go.
So the initial one, maybe not, but the second one will be very reminiscent to somebody who has like ever had like a cat or a dog or something like that, like put their paws up onto a keyboard.
Yeah.
Maybe not with a double exclamation point at the end, but you know.
Definitely an interesting chain. Kind of maybe goes off on a
I get what the help one is.
Barking
I get
or kind of attacking him.
I get the help one, right? I get the help one because, like, I think that I think the help one was meant to be almost sort of like a kind of a reference to I think Lassie, right?
I can see that.
Like, oh, little Timmy's falling down the well. Like, where is he, Lassie?
So,
You know?
And after this help one, the Twitter handle actually changed from New World to Barkimedes, where it appears to have been borrowed by a dog that is in the game. Barkimedes here apparently is, got quite the Twitter chops here, and has his own profile picture assigned to his account now.
The amount of emojis around him.
Yes. So it's kind of an interesting way to introduce some stuff, as well as confuse some people. There's a lot of talk around potential companion mechanic, pet mechanics, stuff like that. They haven't confirmed anything. They haven't confirmed pets yet. They have confirmed, if you follow the images for what you get for the pre-order, they have confirmed that you can have house pets. However, if we continue down the line, this is very obviously telling a story around going to one of the expeditions, talking about Simon Gray, who is apparently within one of these expeditions in the Windsward area of the map. And is out in the world instead of in a house. So for people who don't know, the deluxe edition of the game does come with a Mastiff house pet. So it's kind of an interesting addition to have potentially an NPC's pet out in the world. And this is made even more interesting by the fact that you can actually take the redirect here. You can actually walk up and pet this this lovely dog.
Yeah, it actually comes up with an action to pet him.
Despite having a very obvious red bar, level 25, Barkimedes name tag on him, he is apparently lonely and will let you pet him. Who knew?
Yeah.
That's if he doesn't, bite your face off.
I was gonna say, I mean, he does, like, as a lot of people have kind of have sort of said in various different outlets. He doesn't look like like the usual pets that we kind of have seen. We've seen in the preview the Mastiff that you can have as a house pet kind of thing, but it's literally just almost like an item that you place in your house. It has a few sort of interactive kind of animations, but that seems to be about it, right?
Mm-hmm. And we know from the preview that there was a second version of the Mastiff as well. There was the version that kind of has like a woodsland feel, matching the rest of the deluxe kit. But then there's also just like a plain Mastiff. This kind of breaks that mold.
Yeah, exactly. He obviously clearly has a very much a wolf kind of sort of appearance. In actual fact, some people have kind of said like haven't seen that wolf. Like there is, some of the sort of in some of the wolf dens in the preview. In actual fact, some of the wolf dens had like this sort of like an alpha wolf sort of sort of more silver-esque kind of wolf, which Barkimedes looks very much like, to be completely honest. So like I have to wonder whether it's going to be like whether this is kind of like hinting at like a pet sort of situation, like that you find a pet or that you sort of like you domesticate an animal, or whether it's done in some particular way, like say, and this is a bit of a stretch, but like people have been kind of talking about how sort of overpowered certain aspects of the life staff was in the preview. If that was taken to heart by Amazon Games and they kind of want to rework it, it wouldn't be beyond the scope of imagination of them basically taking the life staff, removing the kind of the stuff that was overpowered about it, and maybe turning it into pure what I would imagine to be a pure support role, but with this kind of with an interesting sort of take on it, basically making it have an ability to possess say an NPC animal. Maybe like I can imagine that being something that would be kind of interesting, because then you could possess an NPC animal, which this very much looks like. Barkimedes very much looks like an NPC animal, but if you can possess them and domesticate them, then that would be really cool.
Oh,
level up a rabbit, yeah.
I've long joked with them about adding in just a world boss that like just sits at the edge of a cave and just looks like a little white rabbit, exactly. And just pulls the whole Monty Python killer rabbit, like lunges 35 feet and just like jumps on a guy's throat and kills him in one strike. Like, I think it would be
that's not
comical as well. Yeah,
that's like, one cruel, foul-minded beastie.
That is truly what I want. Like that would be a great reference to the game.
Oh yeah.
Jamie is one of our long-term subs. Thank you for the
Yay.
9 months in a row of
Thank you, dude.
subs. Thank you. Thank you to all of our supporters as well. We have a surprising number of subs for how often we do this, as well as thank you to our
And even some
patrons.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And on the topic of things that bring in support, we actually the first time I've done this transition. If you look under the stream in Twitch, we have actually become affiliates with Secret Labs chairs.
Oh, you actually put that on
like the
thing.
one that
Nice.
I'm actually in right now. As I've been talking about for a while, we're looking to start doing review content, and we're only going to recommend things and really try and tie ourselves to brands that are frankly something that we would buy ourselves, and that we have enough time with in order to actually justify recommending to people. So if you're interested in the Secret Labs chairs, I know for me, I was in a position where I needed an office chair. It was I decided to go with a cheaper option on Amazon. And in the last episode, you can see, at the end of the episode, you can see my flaming review of the chair that I purchased, and didn't even keep long enough to. Or I had it for a couple of months, but didn't have any respect for it to the point where I returned it, and didn't even take pictures of it in my apartment because I frankly hated that chair with a passion. However, I have for the last several months now had this Secret Labs chair. And it is probably the most comfortable chair that I've ever owned for gaming. Now this is starting to sound like an ad, so I'm going to break away from this. But as I've said, we're only going to tie ourselves to things that we actually would recommend, and I highly would recommend these chairs. The link for that is below the stream here. That said, back to New World. One of the other things that I think is quite interesting here is somebody over at Amazon Game Studio is quite obviously a Nicolas Cage fan. Very much so a Nicolas Cage fan. Also, Big Bear with the 9 viewer host. Thank you.
Cheers,
awesome,
buddy.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this is in reference, obviously, to the interesting pair of shades that the guy is wearing.
That happen to look a little bit like these from National Treasure. The Benjamin Franklin specs, from National Treasure. Even the same colors. I'll see if I can fit both of these on the same screen here. Very much the same
kind of
kind of feel here.
Side, the blue on that side,
and the black and the clear, very clearly, somebody was a fan of those movies. I know for me, I'm a big fan of that set of movies. So that's
it's
cool,
an entertaining set of films.
Yeah, it's a good nod to pop culture.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that. So their art team yet again does something that is just very good. I appreciate them.
I hope these aren't just cosmetic only. I hope they actually have utility in actually finding interesting new kind of areas to explore or clues as to where to go for things and stuff. That would be really cool.
Oh yeah.
Please AGS, please.
Oh yeah.
Make them useful.
So I feel like that's just a cool thing to note. We made that connection real quick after we saw this. Uh, I
Yeah,
do want to
I
give
know
a
there
shout
were.
out to Greg, who's the Amazon developer who is in charge of the creator program, who puts together
Yes.
these image sets and supports the creators across the community. Obviously, it's a smaller group now, and it's gonna explode in size the closer we get to launch, and it's gonna go crazy. But to do him a solid here, if you are interested in the creator program, go to their website, sign up. By signing up, you are in the creator program. In the future, we're looking to have an actual show that dives deep into exactly what the creator program will cover and what support Amazon will provide you. I can tell you that the creator kits that they send out are vital for us having these kind of images and really creating an opportunity for us to show advanced content ahead of time to the point where we wouldn't be able to show this kind of stuff if they didn't give it to us. Additionally, you'll notice a lot of the transitions in this show are very well on brand for New World, and that is actually because they are straight up from Amazon in support of our show. So,
Thank you.
thank you for that. Um, I'm going to pop open a whole bunch of other images while we talk about um, the expeditions. So
Yes.
they announced expeditions, and for the longest time, AGS has been going off about. Uh, they've been going off about open world content. Let's put everything in the open world. Let's make it so that anybody can interact at the same time. And expeditions is the 180-degree turn from that. They basically said, "Hey, the map is huge, but we need replayable content that's team based, or that's co-op based, that you can you know have a good incentive to really push through and really get into. Um, they're designed to be difficult. They're designed to be focused around specific levels. So potentially run a lower level one very easily, but at the same time you would have some challenges running a much higher level one, as the enemies in there are designed to be difficult. So um, it's instanced combat. So you go in, you
Hmm.
solve a variety of different puzzles, depending on which one that you're in, and then from there, you also take on some incredibly difficult enemies. Which I gotta say, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean the interesting thing is they've also kind of tied with Barkimedes. They've also tied this whole kind of thing into also bringing back up the fact that they have these expeditions, and it's kind of interesting because also to some degree those glasses as well, in very much the same guise as the film National Treasure. Well, the film's National Treasure, plural. Um, they were all very much kind of almost in an expeditionary sort of like a theme, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yes, very much so. I'm a little bit annoyed with my computer here. It like just does not want to.
So one of the questions in chat was any thoughts on why the dog is named after Archimedes? Um, I think we're kind. I mean, I'm drawing a bit of a blank on this. I'm kind of like doing a little bit of a very quick sort of, Google foo. Um, like Archimedes did have a tomb apparently, according to Cicero. So potential expedition maybe. He was very much a mathematician involved in the formation of the idea of pi and circles, sphere, circles and spheres and stuff like that. Ellipses, parabolas, that kind of stuff. So, and we've seen, if you've seen any of the artwork that goes on with the ancients, specifically, they always seem to have a lot of like spheres in their sort of like their their well, not artwork, but they're kind of like their art style. That might sort of be a hint to that, maybe. But it's still, the kind of like the the styling of Barkimedes' name, referencing Archimedes, is still sort of tentative and elusive at this particular point.
Yeah.
How do you
there
feel?
might also be a nod with the Simon Gray to a book as well. That would be potentially Simon Gray and the March of 100 Ghosts. Could be a thing about a mysterious shipwreck that left a cabin boy stranded in an unfamiliar, dangerous land. So, just putting that connection together, that might be a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Not to, be an ad for yet another thing here, but there is a book on Amazon that has that. So, yeah. So there's that. There's a lot of really cool stuff with that. Trying to cycle through some of these images as well to make sure you guys see them all, because there's
you see there's the same style of wolf that Barkimedes is, right? Very much, very similar.
Looks a little bigger,
basically identical, right? A little bigger, yeah, for sure.
Possibly this one might be, seems like it's probably a wild one, and might be scaled with the elite system.
Yeah, very much so.
That one's definitely scaled up a little.
That one, yeah, that one is. That one's like, oh, okay, yeah. We may have gone down the wrong track here, guys.
This is actually part of the battlegrounds that they're starting up.
Yeah. So this is this is one of the other aspects that they recently they recently talked about. Well, I was going to say released. It's not released. They've kind of like revealed, I guess that is the term. Hopefully we get to see a bit more sooner rather than later. But thankfully with the creator pack, like get a bunch of images which we're cycling through right here, showing the various different scenes from what seems to be the 20 on 20, isn't it?
Yes. I think these ones are of a portal here, but it's the 20 on 20 we were watching before.
Yeah.
This is back to the 20 on 20 part.
And they're basically miniature fortifications that you have to seemingly anyway that you have to try and take and hold, right? Mm-hmm. So they
I think these are going to be designed to be more frequent than the territory wars. So obviously, territory wars being the mechanic used to actually capture towns and forts and entire territorial areas of the map, which allows you to gain tax money off of the population living there and kind of run the settlements as you please.
Yeah.
But I think these are designed to be more of that instance type combat. Theoretically, I don't think they actually announced if it's instanced or not. But it's arguably going to be something that happens much more frequently.
Yeah.
and is going to be something that um, probably going to be a little bit more gamified than some of the other parts.
I mean, I'm thinking that it
Big Bear
can't
says
really
it was
exist
announced
other
that it was
than.
instanced.
Oh, it was announced. Okay.
That's good then.
Because I was about to say, like, because I couldn't see how it wouldn't play, how it would play without it being instanced. But then again, when they released the information about it, at least the initial information about it, they'd said that the expeditions were instanced. They said, like, the instanced expeditions. But then when they kind of went onto this particular kind of thing, they didn't actually use the term instance. So if it is instance, then fair enough, like that makes sense. But as far as I knew, they weren't instanced. But I can completely understand why they would be.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's 2020, and it's 20 on 20. Yeah. Whether it's 20 on 20 and it's strictly 20 on 20 based on your 20 Marauders versus 20 Syndicate, and vice versa and stuff, whether it's actually faction locked or not, I don't know. But we're all waiting for additional information regarding it. So hopefully, maybe someone might come out with an interview with a Q&A about it. From someone, say someone like Greg or whatever. Like, it'd be cool to get a few sort of like community questions answered about these things, right?
Absolutely. I'm sure at some point they'll probably do what they did with Reekwater and bring in a number of creators to play through it ahead of time. And um, this is best guess at this point. I'm assuming that was a successful event that worked out really well for them. So I'm betting we'll see that happen
Seems
again.
to have. Yeah.
It is part of the creator program that they do allow creators have some creators will have access to some content early. They're trying to target specific creators that have specific types of content that they specialize in for specific things. So, for instance, if you're like heavy into PvE, you're going to be great for some kind of content. If you're heavy into PvP, you're going to be great for some other types of content. Yeah, there's also a NDA aspect of it that I think they limit the number of people with access to those tests, or not to the test, but to the creator
It makes
preview
sense
events.
it makes sense to control the flow of information in the outlets for that kind of information, because any leaks can be kind of determined as to quite what the information was released, and who would have that particular kind of information. That sort of stuff is it's kind of like coming back to my sort of my skill sets as a Eve sort of scout and intel dude, as to compartmentalization of information, and being able to determine leaks based on the released information, and the information that those various different groups of people had.
Oh yeah.
It's a very intelligent way of doing it.
Oh yeah. And I too am bugging Greg about that, and as often as I get a chance to. So I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I gotta say again, I love getting these creator packs. Greg does a great job of putting these together and making sure that that everybody gets them. Um, and I think they showcase. They've started to showcase more of the variety of the game. Um, you know, in the past, sometimes people have complained that there's really only like 5 NPCs, and it's like there's way more than that. Like they're way more
Yeah,
than
there's
that.
definitely more than there's variants for sure, but there's definitely way more, like, in terms of unique NPCs.
Yeah. Some reason
Mm-hmm.
there are videos that playing.
Technology, why are you not working? There we go.
So this is
Now they
from
are.
one of the expeditions.
Yeah, they're inside some kind of like I mean, you know, it's kind of like sort of in a strange way, kind of like National Treasure meets Indiana Jones, like you know, the Crystal Skull kind of thing,
Yeah.
in a weird way. Obviously, with a lot more fantastical elements.
Yeah, and that's
it's
really kind of a cool setup. I like the puzzle approach to things.
Yeah, I want to see more aspects of that. Like, I hope that there's like loads and loads of like puzzle aspects to it, and that they constantly come out with more and more sort of like intricate and challenging kind of puzzles as well.
Mm-hmm.
There you can actually kind of see like the sort of like spherical kind of stylings and stuff as well. You know, regarding the whole Archimedes kind of link.
Mm-hmm. Just some cool stuff. So let's see.
Had this I had this crazy idea for a second there when they were like walking into it. I was like, it's kind of like Stargate.
it kind of is. It's bringing them into their own instance.
Do you know what I mean?
So yeah,
it's like they're zipping off into like a sort of the other side of the galaxy.
So I do think that it's interesting that there is also some renewed images from the trailer in the most recent kit. Specifically, they bring in Isabella, some of the corrupted monsters, and stuff like that as well. So I think that there's some interesting stuff potentially in the works here. I think our expeditions have a big opportunity to tell a deeper story with each one, and kind of add a pseudo story mode, where you're going in to find a specific person, or you're going in to find something. Like for instance, Simon Gray. Hey, there's a dog outside with a note next to him. And it basically is telling you go look for Simon Gray. I'm assuming that's what's on the note or the note.
Are you trying to tell me that there might be a situation where we're having to go into this expedition to find Privateer Ryan?
I mean, somebody's got to rescue him. Just saying. It would be even funnier if he looked like Matt Damon. Just so that more money could be spent on saving him at some point in time. Oh God.
Extra brownie points if the first person, if there's some kind of like some kind of person who looks like Sean Bean who dies really quickly.
So with that, I think that actually covers everything that we intended to cover. We're going to wrap things up. I want to say again, thank you to our subscribers. Thank you for Big Bear raiding us with 8 people. Again, thanks to our Patreons. Thanks to Amazon Game Studios for a lot of the video, the creator packs, a lot of the animations that we use on the stream here are all things that are really not possible without them. And thank you for everyone else watching. It really makes my day to have people watching. And Robot Dork, that is correct. Thank you, Jeff Bezos, for putting in the money to make this game, because I know I'm having a good time with it. So
it's always good to be appreciated.
Absolutely. So with that, for anybody who doesn't know, we have a Discord. That Discord is linked in the chat right now. After the show, we'll pop into the public channel and chat with people. You know, we're always open to chat. To spitball. So, and of course, we're in there most days. So, you know, with that, again, thank you everyone, and have an awesome day, and we will see you in the new world.